Hello. So I wanted to take some time and talk about a message that I got from Pixar's Soul. Now, this movie brings up a lot of different questions and topics and things that really make you think and start great conversations. It's really deep. But there is something that I want to talk about that I haven't really heard anyone else talk about. And it's the message that I took away from the movie. And it came from one of the scenes that's towards the end. It's when Joe goes back to the Great Before and encounters 22 as a lost soul, and he gets enveloped in her lost space. And the message I got from this scene was that our words and what we say have an impact on other people. And this is something that I've thought quite a bit about during my life, which is maybe why I took it away from the movie. Like, during the movie, that is the message that I got. When I walked out of the theater, that's what I was thinking about. That's the moment during the movie when I cried, was when he was seeing all these figures coming up and speaking negatively at him, and he could see inside 22's mind and what she has been being put through. It really hit me, and I loved it. And it's because Pixar, they are such amazing storytellers, because everything you hear those figures say at 22 in that scene, we have heard them say before earlier in the movie.
Mother Teresa.
I have compassion for every soul. Except you, I don't like you.
Copernicus.
The world doesn't revolve around you, 22!
Muhammad Ali.
You are the greatest! Pain in the butt!
Marie Antoinette.
Nobody can help you. Nobody!
But at those times, it was presented to us in a light-hearted way. And Pixar does a great job of, when they're showing it to us earlier on, when the people are actually delivering these lines to 22, they use all the little tricks of movie magic to make it fun. The color palette is very easy. It's blue with different cool tones in there that make you feel very at ease. The editing is done very quickly and quippy, so it adds that comedy level in there. And the lines that are being delivered are done kind of comedically as well, where they're starting to say something that sounds in character for the person, but then they twist it, which kind of makes you giggle to say something kind of mean at 22. And the slow camera movement as well. It's all meant to kind of put you at ease and put you in a very nice, happy place. And so the first time when we hear all of those lines, we are taking it in as Pixar is intending us to, in a very light-hearted manner. And it's not until this scene towards the end of the movie when we are actually seeing how 22 is absorbing that information, and it's really hurting her. She puts on that, a bold face, a strong face, making it seem like she doesn't really care what these people are saying. But of course she internalizes those negative comments, and it really does make her think less of herself.
Truth is, I've always worried that maybe there's something wrong with me. Maybe I'm not good enough for living.
Because you can hear some of the things that you hear echoed back during that scene actually aren't exactly what was said to her initially. They are a little bit different, but that is how she took it.
Maybe skywatching can be my spark. Or walking. I'm really good at walking.
Those really aren't purposes, 22. That's just regular old living. But hey, when you get back to the youth seminar, you can give it an honest try.
I've got to find it here, on Earth. This is my only chance to find my spark.
22, you're only loving this stuff because you're in my body. You can find your own thing to love when you get back to the youth seminar.
You will never find your spark. There's no point. Those aren't purposes, you idiot. That's just regular old living. This is a waste of time. You only got that badge because you were in my body. That's why you ruin everything. Because you have no purpose.
So even though they thought maybe they were just, getting out their frustration, whatever, and just saying something that may not have been hurtful, but was just kind of like, getting their frustration out, she internalized that as being a hurtful message, and that's how she took it. And this happens all too often in life, where things are said that maybe aren't meant to be hurtful, but end up being that way. We can never completely control how people take what we say, because, that's up to them. That's their choice. They have their agency, and they can, take anything any way they want. But there is a lot that we can do on our side to make sure that what we convey is done appropriately. And this is something that I think about quite a bit in my life, because in my heart I still feel like a child. Sometimes I don't feel like the most mature person ever, and so a lot of the times reality hits me when I realize that there are people younger than me that look up to me or listen to me or really take what I say to heart. And in my adult life, I've had opportunities to be, you know, a teacher or someone that people are looking up to and really listening to. And so the more and more that I have lived on this world, I have tried to be more and more cautious of that, because I can think of many examples of me in my youth growing up where someone who I looked up to and respected said something that I very much internalized, good and bad, or neutral, just like opinions or things that didn't matter as well. But when you're young, you're very impressionable. Like, I can think off the top of my head of a handful of compliments that I have received throughout my life that really did determine certain parts about me as I grew up. I can think of one compliment I got over a decade ago that has shaped how I've thought about myself. And I can think of a compliment I got only a couple of years ago that actually played a part in some of the decisions I made about where I was going to take my life. And I guarantee that those people don't even remember they said those things to me. They don't know how much those comments affected me, but they did. And so I just think I'm just so glad that Pixar put this scene in there, because it is something that I think does need to be discussed and, you know, people be aware of and think about more, is that people are listening. People are paying attention. People are absorbing things that we may not think that they are. And I think it is just important that we pay attention to what we're saying and what we're doing, and that we don't hurt people unintentionally or intentionally, you know, which, as I said, may not always be in our control, but we should do the best we can, I think. Anyways, and so that's why I just thought this scene was so important, where it's just like, it's so relatable, and I'm so glad that it was executed so masterfully on screen for us to be able to visualize and digest, to be able to talk about this topic and be able to analyze it further. Now, I am not an expert in any way on this subject of, you know, people, emotions, relationships, or anything like that. But I've lived in this world for a few decades now, and so I have some experience with it, and so I wanted to share some of my thoughts and some of the things that I have learned throughout my life. So there's the message that I got from Pixar's Soul, that our words have effect on other people. And so thank you so much for watching this video and listening to me babble on this subject, and I hope you have a great day. Bye.